Hare Krishna. We'll start with some kirtan, then we can immerse into nectar of devotion. Krishna Lila. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jan Balabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jan Balabha Jaya Girivaradhari. Yasodhanandan Braj Jana Ranjana. Yasodhanandan Braj Jana Ranjana. Yasodhanandan Braj Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jan Balabha Girivaradhari. Yasodhanandan Braj Jana Ranjana. Yasodhanandan Braj Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. One last time please. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So today we are Canto 4th and verse chapter 28, verse is 6. So 4th canto, 28th chapter and verse 6. So we'll recite the verse and then we'll go through the little bit background. It's very condensed canto, especially these few chapters, 24th, 25th, 26th, 7th, 8th. So this is about story of a king, Puranjana. So chapter 6, please repeat with me. Kanyo pa gudo nasri Kripno Vishatamak Nast Prago Kritrasriyo Gandharva Nervalata Kanyopa Gudonasri Kripano Vishyatamak Nast Pragyo Hritrasriyo Gandharva Nervalata Kanyopa Gudonasri Kripano Vishyatamak Nast Prago Hritrasriyo Gandharva Nervat Lata. Prabhus. Kanyopa Gudonasri Kripano Vishayatmaha
Nasta Pragyo Kritas Vitashkaryo
Nasta Prago Kritasriyo
Gandharva Yavanai Balat
Gandharva Nerval. Everybody, Mataji's. Kanyopa Gudonastri Kripano Vishyatmak Nasta Pargo Hritrayo Gandharva Nervalata Kanyopa Gudonasri Kripano Vishayatamak Nasta Pragyo Hitrashryo Gandharva Nervalata. Translation is as Divine Gesla Prabhupada's report. Ki Jai. When King Puranjana was embraced by Kalkanya, he gradually lost all his beauty. Having been too much addicted to sex, he became very poor in intelligence and lost all his opulence. Being bereft of all possessions, he was conquered forcibly by the Gandharvas and Yavanas. Purport by His Divine Gesla Prabhupada. When a person is attacked by the invalidity of old age and is still directed to sense gratification, he gradually loses all his personal beauty, intelligence and good possessions. He thus cannot resist the forceful attack of the daughter of time, which was Kalkanya in this verse. Om Agyanti Mirandasya Gyananjana Salakya Chakshu Urvitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurue Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadameham Dadanti Swapada. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. First, I seek blessings from all the Vaishnavas here and those who are also watching online. It's my good fortune and excitement to share some of the realizations from this verse, and it's a great opportunity. So, knowingly or unknowingly, if I do something wrong related to this verse, please contribute and please forgive me. So this verse actually is very important in the sense that the purport is very small, but in this purport everything is embedded. So I will just go through the little bit of background about this verse. What exactly happened? Anybody has any knowledge here? What exactly is happening in this verse? What is this related to? The context. What is the context?
Puranjana leaving his body.
Puranjana leaving his body. So this is allegory, an example Maitreya Muni is giving to Vidura. Actually, Vidura is traveling when war of Mahabharata is going on. So he's traveling all over. So he's going to all pilgrimage places, and he meets Maitreya Muni. So Maitreya Muni is telling him about Lord Krishna, his glories. So he's telling him because the story started with Prithu Maharaj, which was great devotee of Lord, and Prithu Maharaj has elder son Vijitsava, and he pleased Indra. So Indra also gave him the name Antardhan. So Antardhan, he has 3 sons from one wife, and then he married another wife, and from that wife he has another powerful son named Barishat, also known as Prajapati. Barishat was known as. So Prithu Maharaj's son has 3 sons, and from another wife he has another son named Barishat, also known as Prajapati, and then also known as Prachina Brahi. So Prachina Brahi is the story about Prachina Brahi. So Narada Muni actually, he's giving this allegory, this analogy to Prachina Brahi, because Prachina Brahi is pious king, and upon orders from Brahmaji, he marries daughter marries Satadruti on the order of Brahmaji, and from Satadruti he had 10 sons, and those 10 sons are known as Prachetas. So Prachetas, they immediately they, as opposed to their father's order that okay, you can rule kingdom, you can enjoy material life, they say no, we are going to go to devotional service. And they are very pious, they are Lord's servant, and then they are traveling all over. They left their kingdom, they don't stay with their father. So they're traveling, they're very pious. During their travel, then they meet Lord Shiva. So there are beautiful prayers of Lord Shiva. There are several prayers, Gajendra's prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam, then Maharani Kunti's prayer, Bhishma prayers, and then Lord Shiva's prayer actually. And this is another example here that Lord Shiva himself is praying to Lord Krishna that, I am your servant here. Among demigods, Lord Shiva is supreme, and he is suggesting those 10 Prachetas that you should take shelter of Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, to advance in spiritual life. So with this story, in the meantime, their father, 10 Prachetas' father, Pranchina Brahi, he is now doing sacrifices. He's doing homa, he's doing sacrifices, he's doing animal sacrifices for material opulences. So Narad Muni comes, and then he presents this story of Punar Jana, because rather than saying that, sometime Narada Muni gives direct instructions, say, oh no, you need to do this, go, and sometime Narada Muni knows that person, if I give direct instructions, he's not going to listen. I must present some example. So this is the example Narada Muni is giving to Prachina Brahi king, because he's too much engrossed in material opulences, and he's too much into animal sacrifices. And Narada Muni says, see, all those animals you see in the sky, they're just looking at you, and in due course they are going to pierce through your body. They're going to kill you. The way you are doing with them is going to come back. So what it emphasizes our karma. So our bad karma, whatever it comes, doesn't matter what kind of sacrifice or what kind of homa we do, is going to come back if our platform is material platform. But anything we do in connection with Lord Krishna, of course, is get multiplies and it stays in a very positive way. It's our positive bank balance. So I'll just go through. So this is the overview background. So 10 prachetas, they met Lord Shiva. Meeting Lord Shiva is almost impossible because you can't meet. So 10 prachetas, they could meet Lord Shiva. That means they were pious and they were real devotee of Lord. So Lord Shiva tells them, it's very beautiful. Among many verses, Lord Shiva is reciting there in front of prachetas. This one is really, really beautiful. Yaha param ramsa shakta trigunja Shiva samastitha bhagavatam Vasudeva prapanhasa priyohi macha priyohi. So what he's saying is, any person who is praying to Lord Krishna, who is offering devotion service to Lord Krishna, is very dear to me. So to please Lord Shiva, so what message we get is to please Lord Shiva, we don't have to do anything extra. The analogy, acharyas and many lectures we give, that if we water the root, all the branches and leaves are already at water. When we feed our mouth, our tummy, then all body parts get nourished. So likewise, when we are praying to and serving Lord Krishna, all other demigods are happy, satisfied. So, and Lord Shiva in his prayer also calls Lord Krishna as powerful, omnipresent, renunciation, many things, merciful, wealth, supreme nature, super soul, source, and everything. He recites these beautiful prayers actually, and he calls Lord Krishna with these words. That further justifies where Acharyas, Parasar Muni, he has given the definition of Bhagavan, who is Bhagavan, who has those 6 qualities: renunciation, wealth, beauty, another 3 in unlimited quantities. And Lord Shiva is verifying those. He's saying that yes, he has everything, so he is Bhagavan. So let us talk about this story of Puranjana. So Narada Muni is citing this story. So this King Puranjana is very happy at his palace, and he is enjoying all his material life, but still he is not happy in the way that he wants more. And that is our regular position. In general, when we say regular, we means, I'm talking about materialistic people, that we are never happy. And the moment we are going for material attachment, material gain, we're going to engrossed in this material world. And that's exactly is going to happen with Puranjana. So he moves around, he goes around on earth, and then going around looking for some place. And there he comes to Bharatavarsha. Then there he sees the beautiful city, and there it's described in a way that the floors are made of jewels, and there are 9 gates, and then he sees a very beautiful woman there, and then he's totally enamored. He's totally just staring at her, just without any movement. In what we say in a awe. When something is like, when I went to glacier, for example, went Charmat like a couple of weeks back and looked at one of the glacier, I was just, for a few seconds, I was like, wow, it's what we call looking at awe, and just the highest degree of surprise. So he's looking at, and then there is nice conversation between those two, and eventually they're staying together, they end up marrying together. And then Puranjana, he has 1100 sons from his queen, and then he has 130 or 160 daughters. So many, and those sons they get married, and daughters are married to proper grooms, and then they all have their daughters and sons. So he has now many grandsons. So because of his pious and impious activities, he got to get into this nice kingdom, which full of jewels, beautiful places, all his soldiers, and they are obey all his ministers. And then slowly he is so much engrossed that he just puppet. He's just puppet of his queen. He's just dancing on her fingertips. Once the queen is angry because he goes to forest and then he kills many animals. Just without any reason, he just goes for hunting and he kills many animals. And it is suggested in scripture, Srila Prabhupada writes that, I mean, kings, they can kill animals if they want to eat flesh, which is not advisable. But if, in worst case, if they want to, they can kill some animal who are suffering. But here he is just unnecessarily killing those animals. And that is the analogy what Maitra Muni, Narada Muni is giving to Panigrahi, King Panigrahi, that this is exactly the king is doing, Puranjana. So looking for place, so he's, that's what in material world, what we do is we are living with parents and then we get a job and then we are looking for a house, we get single bedroom apartment and then, oh no, it's short, then children are born, then, oh, they need individual room. So then what we are looking for is, oh, we need like 3-bedroom apartment, 4-bedroom apartment, right? And then marry and then he goes for hunting. So once our bodily requirements and our desire of beautiful wife and house and children satisfy, then what we do is we're looking for extra entertainment. Let's do party, let's go, and then we can go for even, people go hunting. I mean, Utah, the place I am from, hunting is a big entertainment there. They go hunting for ducks and then other wild animals. You can easily get deers and all that in Utah, and they just unnecessarily go and just kill them. So this is what exactly, this is the reflection of Kali Yuga here. So what is modern society doing? In modern society is consumerism. What is the consumerism? As I stated, we are not happy with what we have. What we need is, we need prasadam, 2 or 3 times to eat. We need a nice place to live. But you just go to any grocery store, you will have 50 different varieties of toothpaste there. You will have 40 different varieties of cream, skin cream. You will have different varieties. And then you just walk through the street. I stay in Seefeldstrasse, and that is the topmost material place to live, unfortunately. But if you walk through the street, all you see is that, oh, we transform skin, we transform this, we transform that. Everything is material. Everything you see, all advertisement. I mean, the whole street, if you walk for a kilometer from the place, from this end to the other end of the Seefeldstrasse, all you will see is like few grocery stores. Other than that, all of them are related to bodily things. Decoration, cosmetics and everything, so much. And we see these environmental problems because of consumerism in the society. We see problems with microplastic. Everybody, perhaps we know that these chemicals, everlasting chemicals, what we call PFAS, where they are coming from. These chemicals are coming from excessive consumerism in the society. Perhaps some of you may have used, I don't use anymore, but we use those non-stick cookwares, right? And they proved to be blessing like 30 years back when they got into market. Wow, non-stick, let's use them. Very expensive, but they are the culprit. They are coated with these PFAS compounds because you cannot burn them even. They burn at like high temperature. And then they get into the environment. People have found this PFAS compound in polar bear, for example, because they go to aerial path in the air. So what I'm saying is the consumerism, it's not just that it does damage. The consumerism is doing damage to our personality as a devotee, as a person, but it's doing damage to the ecology, the nature which God has created, Krishna has created. As Krishna says, I'm the moon, I'm the taste of water, everything in chapter 7. So going back to this story, so what we are doing is we are we are ignoring the real, and in the process, what is happening when we indulge in consumerism, and we are never happy because that's not the real. When I'm talking about real means the soul, what we get anxiety, stress, and depression and whatnot. And these things are prevalent in the society. So in modern society is made to force you in sex indulgence. So 80%, 90% products are for you to beautify, so-called beautification. And why do you need beautification? Such that I look beautiful, I get attracted, somebody get attracted to me. So the modern society is meant to force you in sex indulgence. So devotees is all the time, we would remember, can we remember another story, another similar story from Srimad Bhagavatam, like Puranjana, King Puranjana, Ajamilas. These stories are very similar, but the difference between Ajamila's story and Puranjana did not change until his death even. He died and he was born at the end of his death. So what happens? King Puranjana is too much engrossed in material opulences, sex indulgence and everything. And then eventually the Kal Kanya, she comes, she is the daughter of time never stops. She comes and then with these Yavanas, and then they just conquer his kingdom, all his soldiers, they are just standing, his ministers. They don't even recognize when he's conquered, he's captured by Kal Kanya. Puranjana is captured by Kal Kanya. And when she embraces him, so what is happening is he loses his beauty. He loses his beauty and his old age. And this is what happens with all of us. With old age, we lose our beauty. All our pranas, 5 pranas, they don't flow well in our body. So his wife, his children, they all are looking at him. They don't want to come even close to him. He lost his beauty. And his ministers, they are indifferent to me. And this is exactly what happens at the time of our death. I mean, we say, Ghar ki nari ko kahe tan ki nari jaye. This is Hindi by Kabir Das, actually, one of the poem. Means, what we talk about our own wife, our own veins in the body. Nari means veins, and they will leave us. So forget about our own wife. I mean, initial sentiment, emotions at the time of death, and everybody move on, right? And this is what happening. So, but in Ajamila, in the story of Ajamila, similar, he got indulged in lot of sex, with prostitute, he got it, sons. But fortunately, he named his younger son as Hari, right? So when he was dying, he was too much attached with younger son, and then he called him. So Lord Krishna, it's so merciful that people, when knowingly and unknowingly calls his name, he is merciful. So what the pious activity Ajamila did, at least among his, and he was a learned scholar, he was a Brahmana before he indulged in too much material activities. And so he has the accumulated pious activities, and then of course younger son was Hari. So during daytime, at least few times he was calling Hari, Hari. And that consciousness developed, at least in his mind, that bank balance, positive bank balance was there. So at the time of his death, when Yamaduta was pulling his soul out of his body, and then they're going to take him to hellish planets, he just remembered Hari in the form of his son. And then those pious activities came upon and helped him. But for Puranjana, he did not have any pious activity. He killed so many animals, and at the time of his death, he was still he was thinking about his wife, beautiful wife. So when he was born as a daughter in a family in next life. So what is our consciousness at the time of our death decides. And it's not easy to have good conscience. So many people die, right? It's not easy to have. It's a practice we need to develop. It's not like that, oh, I'm going to enjoy my life, and then, because we don't know when our death is going to come. Even if we are suffering, sometimes people, even doctors declare that this person is going to die in a week or so. They survive months and years sometimes, because we don't have any control over our death. So if we had control over death, You can say, well, on the day of my death, I'm just going to play, something transcendental, and then condition my mind, and then I chant, and then I die. But unfortunately, that is not the case. So what we have to do is, we cannot lose our chance. We cannot leave it on chance, by chance, and we have to practice. So it's not consciousness, developing consciousness, and consciousness is nothing but the soul, and then mind plays in between intelligence and soul and consciousness, right? So we have to condition our mind by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So when we have this training, I mean, we cannot do, if I'm going to take even a small, let's say, very elementary level algebra, I cannot just jump. I have to know the simple formula. So likewise, when we are going to develop, when we want that at the time of death we chant Lord's name, we have to develop that consciousness over time. It is not going to be just over 1 day or 2 days. We have to at least have a regular practice. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 8, 5th verse, Antakale cha maneva smarna mukta kalevaram ya prayati sa bhagdamam yati nasyantra sansya. Those who relinquish the body while remembering me at the moment of death will come to me. There is certainly no doubt about it. So Lord Krishna is certifying, He is assuring us that when you remember me at the time of death, you're going to come to me for sure. I mean, the example we can see is Ravana, right? Ravana, when he was dying, he tells Lord Ram that Ram, and this is sometimes people even use as funny example, is that he told Lord Ram that, Lord Ram, when I was alive, you could not enter my Lanka, but see, I am entering your Dhama in front of you. And Ravana goes, because he's always chanting in envious mood, right? As enemy, you can chant Lord's name in different moods, like Kansa and then Ravan. The chanting, Kansa was always Krishna. Where is Krishna? Let's look for it. Go, and he was sending his demons and to kill Krishna. But he was uttering Krishna's name. At the end, what happens is, Kansa goes to his dham, Putana goes to his dham. She came with, and this is the ultimate mercy Lord can. Uddhava is giving example of Putana. Likewise Ravan, and then Sisupal, he was just so much envious with Lord, and Sisupal in front of Lord Krishna, just his soul merges into Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna is promising actually that those who relinquish the body while remembering, the people who die by remembering me, they're going to come to me for sure. So consciousness, what we have to do is we have to purify consciousness, as Srila Rupa Goswami writes in Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita, and he gives example of a thief and an elephant. A thief, the purpose of catching a thief and putting the thief in a jail says that they purify, they change, and then when they are released, they don't do the same mistake. But if Rupa Goswami writes very strongly that if the thief comes out and he's doing same thing again, then what is the purpose of jailing him? What is the purpose of the atonement? Likewise, elephant, they take bath. And I read this verse, but when we went to South Africa, Kenya last December, and I saw exactly live example. There was herd of this elephant taking bath in a small river there. We saw them, and then they came out and they started throwing dirt again on their body. And this is the example Sri Rupa Goswami is giving, that then what is the purpose of taking a bath? So likewise, consciousness purification, we cannot do that, okay, I'm going to chant today morning, then I can go to the party in the evening. So we have to purify our consciousness. So how do we develop good consciousness? A greater population is doing mistake. It's just not, I would say, even more than 99% of people. We are lucky that Srila Prabhupada has provided us such a beautiful platform of practicing our devotion, to come in contact with devotees. One of the things is sadhu sangha, to purify our consciousness. When we come in contact with sadhus, and when we read Srimad Bhagavatam together or hear from other, then our consciousness purifies. So that's must. And then more than 99% people they don't have this chance. They do, but they don't want to avail this chance of consciousness purification. So from scientific point of view, Puranjana's intelligence was dead. He just lost his intelligence because he was too much indulged in sex. And scientifically it is said that in excessive sex, so when the semen flows in upward direction towards in our mind, then our intelligence increases. And if it flows downward, then we lose our intelligence, we lose our strength. This is fact, scientific fact. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki, Sri Gaurnitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So, where do we start from? Much like the practice, we have to start from a practice. And then there are 9 forms of bhakti given. We don't have to go all the way. And it's not possible because we are not qualified. But there is purification process. Slowly we become qualified. So we have to start with Saranam Kirtanam. And we have to have Sadhu Sangha. And with Sadhu Sangha, then we start reading scriptures. And then we have Guru. Eventually, the aim is to have a spiritual Guru because the spiritual Guru can guide us. So I will just share last thing in this one. So two more points I want to share. There's Srila Prabhupada as a householder, Grihastha's life, is in Varnashram. Grihastha is the beautiful status. But Grihasthas, they are allowed to have sex just in controlled way, only for the purpose when they want children whom they want to raise as Krishna conscious children. Other than that, Srila Prabhupada strictly writes that no, they should not indulge in sex apart from other regulatory principles. So householders can be 2 types, Grihasthas and then Grahamedhi. Grihasthas are those who spend their Grihastha life, earning, going, but keeping Krishna as the center. Grahamedhi, they are just working like donkeys all the time, like Punarjana, the king. So he was working. What it is, he was acquiring kingdom, and then he was as queens, and then he has many sons and daughters. So it was Grahamedhi. So eventually, the fate of Grahamedhi is what is going to happen with Punarjana. Same thing, but Grihastha, the purpose of, when we call ourselves Grihastha, the purpose of Grihastha is to have Krishna at the center. Because this is one of the Varnashram, in the Varna, this is one of the stages. And then we make spiritual progress. So the life of what Sri Krishna what says in his Nidra Hitte Bhaktam Vyayen Cha Vaya Divya Chate Rajan Kutum Bharen Nev Cha. So the lifetime of such Grahamedhi is paused at night, either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in the daytime either making money or maintaining family members. So this is what they do. So what we have to do is we have to realize that we are Atma Tattva. Atma Tattva, understanding the difference between the material and the spirit. So once we have this feeling of Atma Tattva, then we can understand. So the first thing is, how do we understand? We have to purify our consciousness. Example is, we generally don't say, I had, right? I heard. We say, my hand, my heart, right? We don't never say, I heard. So what is this my? What is that my? That my refers to the soul which is residing, which is, illuminating our whole body in different ways, but it is situated somewhere in our heart. So, Jivere Savrupur Krishna Nitya Dasa, right? So fish, if you bring fish out of water and then offer fish all the sweets and everything, the fish is not going to like. Because the Swarup of fish is to reside in water and then be happy there. If you offer fish anything, all jewelries and sweets and nice, wonderful prasadam, fish is not going to like. So our Swarup is what? To be Krishna Nitya Dasa. And that's the realization Narada Muni is telling to Panigrahi, King Panigrahi. And then he's giving the example of Punarjana, that this king, see, he was very successful, was pious, but then he indulged in a lot of material activities and sex indulgence. See what is his end. Kalkanna actually came to grab him, and then he was dead. He could not even remember, all his possessions gone, and then he was protected by, my last point is five-head serpents. So one big serpent was protecting the Punarjana kingdom actually. So these represent our 5 pairs of air which is flowing in our body, and these are prana, apana, vijnana, udana, and sabhana. So these 5 airs. So yogis and then the Ashtanga Yoga, they try to control these 5 airs in the body. They try to align them, and by controlling, they get into samadhi also, right? So, but in Krishna consciousness, it's very, as long as you are chanting Lord's name. So, this serpent is representing these 5 different airs. So, when old age comes, these 5 different airs, they are not aligning well. They get weak and weak. And this is what happens when these Gandharvas, they come to, fight with the king. First, the serpent, 5-headed serpent, is protecting the kingdom, and then he's fighting for years, hundreds of years, and then eventually he is becoming weak and weak. And this is exactly the analogies here, that when we are getting old age, and all these Yavanas and Gandharvas, they represent our old age, disease and other things. They attack us. And that is the analogies Narada Muni is giving here, that this Kalkanya is the daughter, none other daughter of time. So time never stops. If you request, please stop, don't send your soldiers to me, time is never going to stop. He's not going to listen. So this is exactly what happens here. The time sends his army, his old age, disease, other things, and Kalkanya comes and then embraces, and then they get weakened over time, and then what happens is the serpent. So what is developed? What Punarjana he developed is 4 things he developed: Nast Guna, then Nast Guna, Nast Pragya, Dhrit Aishwarya, and Vishwatma. So Nast Guna means somebody loses all the beauty. This is what happened with the king. And then Nast Pragya loses all his intelligence. So he lost his all intelligence, especially, just slowly. And then Dhrit Aishwarya, all his appellations were gone. They were all captured by these soldiers, and then Vishwatma, addicted to sense gratification, driven by mind. So his sense gratification, and he was driven by mind. And then what is happening is, when we are driven by mind, then our intelligence works according to our mind. Mind says, let's go there. Intelligence says, wow, good idea. Because intelligence looking for this easy path. Because the intelligence is not conditioned. Mind is working between intelligence and soul. This is the connectivity between those two. So if mind is not controlled, then intelligence says, oh, yeah, let's go. But if our intelligence is purified, then it's not going to say, mind says, let's go there. Intelligence is going to tell, no, that's not good. Let's not go there. So this is a very, very relevant example. The story of King Puranjana is very relevant for the whole society, and we can learn a lot. But Lord Narada Muni is telling very easy path, that please don't do these material activities, don't sacrifice, because your life is going to become like Puranjana. You means, everybody's life in this material society, unless we take shelter of Lord. So with that, I will stop here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any questions?
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Sure. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sure.
maybe not
That's okay.
maybe not the main point of the lecture, but one thing that you said about the Kshatriyas when they go to hunt. You said that they only kill animals who are suffering, or
yes, I mean Kshatriyas, those who were not pious, right? I mean, King Parikshit Maharaj was also Kshatriya, right? But he was pious king. But there are Kshatriyas, they fight and they want to eat flesh sometimes. Srila Prabhupada clearly writes, it's not advisable, but if they are eating only then they are allowed to kill animals, and those which are suffering. So because suffering animals, then you relieve them. Even for sacrifice, fire sacrifices, people sacrifices used to do in Sati Yuga, right? And then these fire sacrifices were only done by qualified Brahmanas who can give another life to these animals. They were using animal sacrifices, but only for those animals which were suffering, and then these animals, they will get immediately nice life actually. So these Brahmanas were doing favor to these animals. So this exactly happened later on when these Brahmanas, unqualified Brahmanas, they started misusing this concept, and then Lord Buddha came. So yes.
I remember also hearing that the Kshatriyas would hunt animals also for the protection of the citizens.
Exactly, yes.
And then they would bring those animals to the sacrifice. So is this the same thing? Like usually the sacrifice have a particular animal that they had, like a cow or a horse or a goat.
Yeah, this one.
Is this the same thing, or is it just
two different things? But here, the kings, the Kshatriya is the king, the protector of the kingdom. His duty, they're paying his duty. So the duty is to protect his citizens in any way. If outer enemy they come, they protect the citizens, right? So if these animals, ferocious animals, they attack the city, then it was their duty to kill these animals. So but the fire sacrifice I was talking about is by qualified Brahmanas. So two different things. This is not to protect, but there were animals suffering. They will bring these animals and then offer in fire sacrifices in a way that they get another life, beautiful life. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ras Vilas Dasa.
Thank you, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for the opportunity. Vancha kalpatarubhishta your number.
Wir machen jetzt mit dem, wir warten jetzt auf den Sandstrahl.
Ist das schon vor?
Sandstrahl.
Du bist nicht leicht. Du bist nicht leicht. Ich kann sagen. Nein. Was wird denn jetzt machen? Du bist jetzt leicht. Ich kann es nicht. Ja, ich habe aufgehört. Keine Kraft. Ich habe gestern mit dem Gespräch am Wanderwald und du musst jetzt einfach die ganze Zeit das machen, sehen, was lesen. Devot is fierce fashion. So we chop not that. So the channel. Hast du es jetzt abgewischt?
Du hast abgewischt. Gokula hat dann gesagt, das hätte man im Trocknen machen müssen.
Im Trocknen?
Ja. Ja, das ist auch trocken.
Ja,
das ist halt zu spät. Hat einen anlassen.
Noch einmal. Wie geht der Bescheid? Das war nicht wieder schön. Also mir hat es vorher besser gefallen, aber ich sage schon ein bisschen. Und jetzt wollte Sandstrahlen.
Stone finish.
Jetzt machen wir.
Yeah.
Das ist schon so normal. Ja, it's like flat. It's eine Schicht, it's eine Schutzschicht, eine protected Schicht.
Parts. This is some kind of oil, chemical oil. So I noticed that as soon as you take it out, like this is tamarind water. It's nice shining, but if you leave it for some time, half hour or so, maybe it becomes black again. But the problem is this. I don't think it's nice. It's nice. It's just leave it. Or should be 8% flat. Bring this out. Yesterday I got a message that it was sent out, so I'm not sure if we actually need this. No, maybe not for this one. It's still maybe for the weapons. But there's a chance that we don't actually need to polish the gate. That would be good. Down there says, oh, this is 2 feet.
the